Hi, I'm Louise Fisher from OTGrow and welcome to our YouTube channel. If group therapy is a passion or a calling of yours and you want to enhance your group therapy skills, then you've come to the right place. So here we talk about tips, tools, and techniques to enhance your group therapy practice so that your clients can have lasting change. So today we're talking about silence. So as you can think, it's not going to be a long YouTube episode, but it is a small word, a small gesture, and a very big impact on your group. So silence doesn't mean we sit back and we are totally passive. Silence means that we don't say anything, but we are present. We are present to the process, we are present to the group members, but we are not saying anything. So why would we want to do that? If we talk, we tend to jump in and we tend to problem solve, we tend to fix, we tend to take the lead and the guidance of the situation that has arisen. And at the end of the day, it means that the responsibility on driving the group process ends with the therapist, begins and ends with the therapist. And that's not what we want. We want it to be with a group. When the group takes the responsibility to drive the group process, you're going to find that they are far less dependent on you as the therapist to come up with suggestions or questions, and they themselves will start to speak to each other, dialogue, confront each other, ask questions. And part of that is part of the healing, because if your client never leaves the group because they're dependent on you, that last step of the recovery or healing process can never be completed. We want them from day one already to take responsibility for their recovery or their healing journey. And for that to happen, we have to step back. One way for us to step back is to hold silences. So when something happens in the group, don't be the first to jump in, to say something, to ask a question, to make a statement. If you're finding it really difficult to hold silences, you're feeling uncomfortable, you feel, gosh, this is really getting long, then almost physically make yourself aware to sit back in your chair and to breathe, and then focus on what's happening in the group. I almost want to say by sitting back, you are removing yourself just a tiny bit from this group situation, and that might give you enough of a reprieve for somebody else to start talking. Just as you, as the therapist or the group facilitator, is uncomfortable, I promise you somebody in the group will also be uncomfortable. But when they break the silence, it's often significant in terms of the development of the group process. Whereas if you do it, often you're coming from outside the inner wisdom of the group. And so you might be steering the group in a different direction. So my suggestion is go and unpack a little bit about where does this discomfort around the silence come from. I think that's something that will be great for your reflection and self-awareness. And second of all, the tip is that when there is a moment that you physically sit back in your chair, just breathe, and then softly in your head count till 10. If nothing has happened in the group at that stage, then there are different ways that we can try and elicit something from the group members. But that is for another episode. Today, we're just focusing on holding that silence. So remember, by holding silence, I really believe that there's wisdom in the group. I believe that the group members will come up with their own answers and that the answers already exist in the group. That it is about clients and group members finding and being able to dig into that wisdom for themselves. So the last thing to keep in mind around silence is to do it from day one. It is really hard when a pattern has already started to exist that you then go back and say, all right, now I'm going to stop and I'm not going to talk anymore. From day one, if you hold your silences, the group members will naturally start talking more, sharing more, and driving the group process, and it will be independent from you doing that. So from group one, when you open up a suggestion, maybe even as early as to say, this is your group, what norms would you like for your group? keep quiet, somebody will jump in and start the discussion. And even when they've given a suggestion and nobody reacts, hold your silence. They are going to see pretty quickly that you're not going to be jumping in to save them and that they need to participate. So good luck with that. So the challenge is to hold your silence for at least 10 counts. Good luck with that and happy facilitating.